here's something to think about. The nearer you come to a calm mind, the closer you are to strength. And that was said by a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, 1,800 years ago. Isn't that cool? The nearer you come to a calm mind, the closer you are to strength. We're talking about power, we're talking about breath all this month, and that's a great quote. So today, we're going to calm our minds, and we have to calm our minds to get stronger. How does that work? You have to rest to rebuild. I'm Jan, this is 316 Yoga, this is your yoga from home. You do it your way, it's your body, do it your way. Just don't stress over it, don't take it too seriously, it's just yoga. But wow, it really does work some miracles in your body. This is a 1 hour long restorative practice. Every day of the week I practice, and I hope to join you. I hope you join me. And we do different things. Some days a little more challenging than others, and it's just different. It's just different. Every day is different to build your body stronger, better, more powerful, more at peace. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. Grab your yoga blocks. I have 2 of them. Have your bolster nearby. If you have that, if you don't have a bolster, get a big giant pillow, a really strong pillow. Bolster's great. Mine is filled with buckwheat. It makes it really, really enjoyable. You can have a blanket, you can have an eye shade, a little towel, you know, whatever you got. You could also be near a wall or have a chair nearby. I'm going to use a chair for legs up the wall today, so that's something to look forward to. All right, here's a word for you to think about today. And the word is breathe. Breathe means to pause, to live, to exist, to restore, to recover, all those good things. And it means being in the present moment. And really, really try that. Breathe. Breathe through your practice today and be in your present moment. All right, there we go. Breathe. All right, so have your props and let's go. Come down into a Pentacle Pose. All right, Pentacle Pose. Put your props aside. All you need is you and your body. So come on down to your back for a Pentacle Pose. We're going to do lots of these today. So we're just going to slow down, and I always say this, but really think about this today. Enjoy the transition into your Pentacle Pose. Just getting here, taking your time. Spread your legs wide. Come on down to your back. Bring your arms up overhead and make a capital letter X shape in your body. So you've locked in a stress number. Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, what's your stress coming into your practice today? Give it a number, don't overthink it, and we'll come back to that number at the end. So big capital letter X, slow down and be present. Deep breath in through your nose. Maybe a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Being present means being aware of your surroundings, being aware of the temperature of your room, the feeling of your mat, any smells in your room, being at peace, being calm and quiet. Oftentimes we talk about having a little mantra in your head, thinking about nothing but the mantra. And it can be, I am calm, I am strong, I am present. Maybe today, think about this one. My presence holds power. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Eyes closed. Softness and heaviness in your entire body. Let the thoughts go. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Just enjoy this moment. Just your breath. All right, let's make our way out of this pose, or maybe you want to stay here longer. I'm going to come into a child's pose on the bolster, so I'll just let you know. So you could stay here if you prefer this pose. I'm going to float my arms down by my sides. I'm going to come on up to seated. I'm going to just grab my bolster and take that child's pose. So child's pose on the bolster. Just adjust your bolster vertically on your mat. I'm going to bring my knees up kind of to the bottom quarter of my bolster and just come on down with the chest to the bolster. Arms wherever you like. Just find peace and rest here. Close your eyes. Send your bottom back towards your heels. Doesn't have to touch. Just send it back comfortably. Maybe you'd like to scoot the bolster down a little bit. Maybe that feels better. Or maybe scoot it up. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you breathe here in this pose, we're going to stay here for a little bit. As you breathe in this pose, it's going to be about 5 minutes here. And turn your neck whenever you feel that it's right. Just don't forget to turn it. Maybe you turn it and then turn it back. But just rest and breathe deeply. Try to let the thoughts go. That's the most important part and the hardest part. There's a Harvard study, and I posted the article in our group on Facebook, Friends of 316 Yoga. According to this Harvard study, we spend almost half of our waking hours thinking about something other than what we're doing. So let the thoughts go and just exist here and enjoy. I'll let you know when the 5 minutes is up. Eventually work your breath to that Ujjayi pranayama breath, which is lips closed and breathing in and out of your nose. Soften your shoulders. And don't forget to maybe turn your neck if you're resting on one cheek or the other. Deepen your breath. Keep the thoughts at bay. We've got less than a minute to go here. Let the outside world go. Take a deep breath in. And a really deep breath out. This is your supported child's pose in your restorative practice. How does it feel for you? That's the most important thing. Remember, your presence holds power. Stay here in this pose if you like, but I'm going to take a brief Pentacle Pose. Then after that Pentacle Pose, I'm going to move into a Sphinx Pose. So you decide, maybe you want to stay in your child's pose, or maybe you're still in your Pentacle. It's all good. So I'm going to come into my second Pentacle of the practice. Just fully recline. Arms overhead, or if that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you know what to do. You modify. You don't let anything hurt. Maybe you bring your arms down a little bit like a snow angel and find where it's comfortable to you. Soften in your glutes. Let your pinky toes fall towards your mat. Soften in your face. Maybe breathing out through the mouth helps you release some of that tension. And then go back to your peaceful nose breathing. In and out through the nose. Just think of your body resetting, recalibrating, letting go of everything but the present moment. Unwinding, unraveling the tension, and just being. Stay right here if this feels super great to you. I'm going to move into working on my low back a little bit and resting in a Sphinx Pose. So I'm going to take my block, roll over onto my stomach. Even that, enjoy that transition. Let it feel good. Take your block, place your elbows underneath your shoulders. Legs are long, just let them be. Doesn't matter how far apart they are, just be comfortable. And then place your block underneath your forehead and rest your head on it. I don't know what feels good for you. Maybe you like to bring the forehead down and maybe have the edge of the block kind of on the bridge of your nose. Maybe you like to take it low. Maybe you want to bring it a little higher by moving the block up a bit. Or maybe you go for it and place the block nice and high. Get comfortable here in your arms, your shoulders. It's gonna be another 5 minutes here. You stay here as long as feels good for you. If it becomes painful, come out of it. Maybe decrease the height of your block or go back to your Pentacle Pose. You know what works for you. You know what feels right for you. So in this pose, I feel a little bit of, quite a bit of compression on my low back. Maybe lower the block to feel less compression. I feel that. I also feel lengthening in my side body. My shoulders are over my elbows, just for a little bit of support here in the arms. And I'm resting my head super heavy on the block. I think sometimes we tend to hold on, especially like in bridge pose when we do that on a block. We're going to do that today too. Or like right now, resting the head on this block, I think we tend to kind of go light and not put too much pressure on there, but just let your head go. Your head weighs between 8 and 12 pounds. It's like a bowling ball. Let it rest. Really let it rest. Adjust your block so you really can rest on that bridge of your nose. Let your head be heavy and let your thoughts float away and be light. Breathe deeply, and I'll let you know when our time is up here. Take a deep breath in. And a really deep breath out. Feel how the depth of that exhale affects the sensations in your low back. Take a deep breath in. And a slow, deep breath out. Let's slowly make our way out of this Sphinx pose to your best feeling Pentacle pose yet. So just remove the block. Enjoy the transition of coming into your Pentacle pose, capital letter X. Breathe and just give your low back this treat of your Pentacle pose. Soften in your shoulders. Just kind of do a little body inventory. Maybe wiggle a little bit until you can rest and just nestle in to the goodness of this pose. And remember, your presence holds power. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Give yourself permission to stay here if this pose is speaking to you. I'm going to move into that supported bridge that I talked about. So grab a block or two, have your second block handy if you want. Bend your knees, press the weight into your feet and lift your bottom up. Take your block whatever height you like. Maybe it's high, maybe it's low. I like to go medium. Place the block underneath your low back. All right, here's where it's tricky. You gotta find the sweet spot. Find where it feels good for you. You want your low back to be elevated, and you want it to feel like it's decompressing. We compressed it when we did that Sphinx pose. Now you just want to let gravity work with you and decompress your low back. So be sure you have the block low enough so you can feel and imagine that decompression. So you can play with this a little bit and then settle into what feels really comfortable for you. All right, so the feet are planted, arms, comfortably down by your sides, and that low back is feeling this sweet decompression. Adjust your block and let it be. And then over these next 5 minutes here, maybe you want to do a collapsed bridge. That's with letting your knees come in and your feet kind of go out to the sides. Maybe that feels good. And then after this, we'll work together into that Pontoon Pose to work the hip flexors. So right now, either enjoy your collapsed bridge or your classic bridge and just let your low back decompress. Breathe in and breathe out. It's all good. Right here, right now. Nothing else matters. The monkey mind. Bring it back to peace with your breath. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. No thoughts, nothing else matters but this present moment and your beautiful breath. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, feeling your low back decompress. Take that exhale really, really deep. Think of your belly button going back to your spine. If you've been in a collapsed bridge, where your knees are touching and your feet are out toward the edges of your mat, bring the feet on back to a natural supported bridge pose, walking the feet in a little bit so the knees and the feet are in line with the hips. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. This is your supported bridge pose. Stay in this pose longer if you like. It's up to you. I'm going to move into a pontoon pose. So we've done a lot for the low back between that supported sphinx and this supported bridge pose. Now I'm going to work the hip flexors, which work in accordance with the low back. So I'm going to press into my feet. I'm going to send my hips up, nice and slowly. I'm going to take my second block and I'm going to bring my blocks underneath my bottom at the most stable height, the foundational low height in the blocks. I'm going to place them under my bottom this time. So I'm going to scoot them down a little bit lower, giving myself lots of surface area for my bottom to rest on. Then I'm going to send my legs long. So low back is relaxed, right? But these hip flexors are really feeling that good stretch. Very similar to when we do a lunge, that we work one hip flexor at a time there. So right now we're going to rest here and we're going to stay here for a little less than 5 minutes or longer if you like. But sometimes when you have tightness in your back, it could be that it's actually these hip flexors that are too tight. So we're going to stretch them out here and then we'll take it into a pentacle. But relax here. Arms by your sides or, snow angel them out a little bit if you like that feeling. And just rest. Relax. Restore. And breathe. Take your deep breath in and your deep breath out. Stay here longer if you like, but I'm going to come into Pentacle next. So float your arms down by your sides if you want to do that. Bend your knees. Press the weight into your feet to lift your hips up just a little bit, and then bring your blocks out. Roll your spine down nice and slowly, one vertebra at a time. Just try it. Keeping your navel tucked in so your tailbone goes down last. Bring your back down all the way. And when you get it all down, then release your tailbone. Try to keep your tailbone tucked as long as you can. And then release it. Arms go high, overhead, legs go wide. Pentacle pose in your comfortable way. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in and a deep, slow breath out. There's power in your presence. There's power in your breath. All right, stay here longer if you like. I'm going to come out of this pose and I'm going to go into a supported fish pose. If you want to do that, come on up and find your bolster. Place it vertically on your mat. I am really glad today that Christy, Diane, Lynn, Tyrone, Betty, Kelly, Margarita, Rena are here. Thank you. All right, so grab your bolster, bring it onto your mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to lie on this. So I'm going to scoop my bottom up next to the bolster and just recline. You know, if you've got your eye shade or your towel, here's a great opportunity to use it. Cover your eyes with whatever you got. Maybe you've got a blanket too and you want to cover with that. So in this pose, be sure your bottom is down on your mat. Wiggle it in to your mat. Nestle your shoulders in to your bolster. You could also do this on blocks if you want to create like a letter T shape with the horizontal block resting under your head and the vertical block in between your shoulder blades. Bolster, a little easier, a little more comfortable. Again, you're going to feel a nice side stretch here in your side body like we did in that Sphinx pose. You're going to feel great opening up through your chest. Perhaps your eyes are covered. Let's rest here for a good 5 minutes. Arms wherever you like. Feel your chest open wide. Feel your breathing. Feel at ease. You're not compressed and tight. Your organs have lots of space. You can breathe. It's a great pose for just freeing your body of worry and compression. Legs long or knees bent. That might feel good for your low back. Soles of the feet can touch and your knees can open wide if that feels good too. If you are on the bolster and you want to have your soles of your feet touching and your knees open wide, you might want to put the blocks underneath your knees at whatever height works for you. Just to let the knees be supported and just not feel any tension in the low body. Find your peace and nestle in. Soften in your face a little bit more. If your teeth are touching, unclench your jaws a little bit. Find some space there. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Find no tension in the forehead, the eyebrows. Just soften up as your eyes rest heavily in your eye sockets. Shoulders are reaching toward the ground as they kind of hug that bolster behind you. And your arms are heavy and your breath is light. If you've got your knees supported, as time goes on, maybe you lower the height of those knee blocks. Take a deep breath in. And you know what comes next. A deep breath out. All right, this is your supported fish pose. Stay here longer if you're loving it. I'm going to go into a legs up the wall pose. Actually, I'm going to do a legs up the chair pose. So here's the deal. Roll off of your bolsters if you want to come out of your fish pose. Remove your blocks. You don't need them anymore. Remove your bolster. And I'm going to get a chair. So for this chair pose, for this legs up the chair pose, if you don't have space for a wall, you can bring your chair into the scene, or maybe it's your sofa. Scoot your bottom up and let your legs rest on the seat of the chair. If you're up against a wall, scoot your hip up next to the wall, swing your legs on up, and rest this way. All right, so nestle in, settle in, and get comfortable. Cover your eyes if you'd like, cover with a blanket if you'd like, and enjoy your legs up the wall pose for at least 5 minutes here. You can stay longer too if you want. But I've got a timer set for 5 minutes. Let's be at peace. And you know, if you use an eye shade and it's got little buckwheat in it or rice, you know, tweak it, move the rice around so it kind of molds and conforms to your eye sockets. Really makes a difference. Really, really nice to have the eyes covered with that shade. Block out the light and focus inward. Inside of a minute to go here, or longer if you decide to stay here in lieu of your final Savasana pose. Enjoy the moment. deep breath in. And a deep breath out. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I know I'm about ready to come out of the pose, that's when I really enjoy it and appreciate it the most. If you want to stay here longer, stay here. I'm going to go into my final Savasana pose now. So I'm going to work my way off the wall, off the chair. Let your knees come off the wall. Maybe scoot on back up. Remove your chair. And then come into final Savasana. Okay. One of the ways I really like it is to take the bolster and place it under my knees. Give it a go, see what you think. And if you don't like it, change it up. I'm going to fully recline here. Maybe cover with a blanket if you like. You know, you could cover with the weighted blanket just on the feet or the calves or the shins or the belly. That feels nice too. Or maybe you like to bring it up to the shoulders or cover completely. You know, you make the call. Eyes covered with your eye shade or your little towel. Arms down by your sides. And we're going to rest here in our final Savasana pose. Nestle in and be comfortable. Appreciate the time that you took for you. Appreciate your body and its movement and its mobility and its flexibility. And most of all, appreciate your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you have your remote control handy, you can always push the pause button and stay here as long as you need to. If it is time for you to conclude your practice and come back into the world, refreshed, and renewed. Take a deep breath in. Maybe a big sighing breath out. You're in control now. You are restored. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your wrists, wiggle your ankles, circle them out. Inhale, reach high overhead, take a big good morning stretch. And exhale, bend your knees. If you use the bolster, just scoot it away, roll onto one side or the other. Bend your low arm, rest your head on it, soften in the top shoulder, eyes closed, savor a big cycle of breath here. Slowly make your way up. Maybe you keep your eyes closed just to hold on to the magic a little bit longer. I'm going to come up to seated. I'm going to crisscross my legs. Hands to prayer center. Just a moment of gratitude and thanks to my body for what it did for me today. Pressing the thumbs slightly into the chest, shoulders over the hips, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let it go. All right. Blink your eyes open. You did it. How do you feel? Stress number. You took it in the beginning. Retake it. What is it now? Remember, your presence holds the power. Your strength lies in quiet and confidence. You've got it. Seize your day. Love you guys. See you on your mats tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye. Hello. How are you? You silly girl. You silly girl. Good girl. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.